Australian musician.
Hello.
Before we get to talking about what you're up to now, I just wanted to talk about what you listened to growing up.
Oh, good question. Growing up, I listened to a lot of different music. Mostly that I remember was like Bob Marley and Queen from my parents. And then I kind of went through a lot of phases. I listened to a lot of Eminem and Ja Rule, and then kind of listened to a lot of emo music and then hardcore music, and then got into all that. And then went back into hip hop, and then finally now I'm in beats and just all different sorts of genres, really. Lots of soul as well when I was growing up.
So what led you to going down the path, the direction of beats and samples, etc.?
Like there was this one producer called Jay Dilla, and he's my favorite producer in the whole world. And his story kind of inspired me to kind of start producing, and I was just in kind of like a bad place, so I just wanted to like focus on something, and music kind of always pulled me out of that. So when I started making beats, it just kind of felt right. Yeah.
Tell me about the name Sadiva. Where did that come from? Did you have a lot of reject names?
I didn't really, no. I had like thought of a couple, but I thought of Sadiva and it just stuck. But it's essentially a play on words for sativa and for the herb smokers. It's like a kind of strain that will get your head high and like make you think a lot. So I just kind of wanted to leave that with like music that makes you think, but also being a little bit of a diva. So just a play on words with that.
Do you play any traditional musical instruments?
No, not at all. I only started making music like 4 years ago, but before that I was singing. But I just kind of just did it for the love of music. I always loved music.
So in general, what's the starting point from one of your tracks?
Like from just one of my tracks in general. The starting point, I guess I would always just start with the sample. Like I'd find my sample and then just kind of chop that up and get a groove going, and then I'll just lay kind of drums afterwards and then bass lines and then everything else kind of after that, like the effects and adding in little bits and maybe like taking snippets from a TV show and adding it.
So in general, where do you source your samples?
Most of my samples at the moment come from YouTube, which if you asked me years ago, I would have never said that. But I sample a lot of vinyl. I sample a lot just like I take a microphone around with me and just sample sounds as well now. And just, yeah, getting a lot of stuff off YouTube and just kind of anywhere that I can hear it on my computer. I've got like an internal recorder. So if I hear anything, like even if I'm watching a TV show or something, I'll just want to take it and be like, cool. So kind of from anywhere and everywhere, but mainly YouTube.
Are you one of those people that can be at a party or anywhere and hear music and not thinking about remixing it in your head?
100%. Like there'll be times, all the time actually, where I'm like sitting in a bar and then I hear a guitar riff and it's like tick-a-doo, and I was just like, I want that one bit. So I'll obsess over finding out what the song is, and then I'll go home and kind of chop it up and just find that one bit. It is kind of obsessive. It's pretty obsessive, but I definitely am.
Tell me about the creation of your latest album, Minutes. What was the goal to start with?
I really had no goal. I just like wanted to release another album because I hadn't put music out in like a while. It was a year or something. And I had all this new music and I went through all this stuff. So I had kind of written these beats like they were stories in a way. And so when it felt right, it felt right. And everything kind of fell into place with Minutes as well. Like nothing was forced and everything just kind of came together, like pairing up with Inner Ocean and just kind of the release of it and just I guess everyone responding to it so well. Like it's been pretty amazing and just so organic. So that's what's been really beautiful about Minutes.
What sort of things did you learn from doing the first album that you took into this one?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned that you should definitely always get your stuff mastered because it makes such a difference. And I just learned a lot about the release because I do it all myself as well. I did that 100% solo last time, and this time I kind of paired up with a record label. So it was a lot easier in a way, and I was able to release vinyl this time. And I learned a lot from the last album to take towards this album, which is really cool. And I think I've learned a lot from this time as well, so I'm excited for the next one. But just, sometimes it's okay to get a little bit of help as well with releasing and stuff. So I think I learned that especially.
Why did you decide to call it Minutes?
I decided to call it Minutes because I had a concept that I wanted to name the album about, a concept of time. So whether it was hours or whatever, but most of my beats go for a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So I was just kind of it kind of makes sense to call it Minutes. But yeah, it was pretty much a representation on time and growth, because I have grown so much since my first album that, yeah, it's, taken minutes to get there, minutes, hours, days, and yeah.
Yeah. Was it difficult to know when the album was done?
Yeah, it definitely was difficult to know when it was done because I just put a lot of thought into it, too much thought. And so it was hard to let go of the finished product. But I think once it was mastered, I was nah, that's totally done. But before it was mastered, it was really hard.
Yeah. You've been able to tour overseas as an independent artist. How have you been able to do that, and what sort of gigs were you playing?
So over the years, I've kind of gone to America a lot, especially since I've started making music. So I started 4 years ago. This was my 5th year in America. It's just been a huge source of kind of inspiration over there. And then I just kind of kept meeting people, and I guess just the right people, when it was just all falling into place. So over time, with the beat scene online, I made a lot of connections through there. So I was able to kind of contact people who throw beat gigs over there and be able to get booked because of this beautiful beat scene that we have. It's this beautiful community that we have online. So I guess it was just mainly, interacting with people in the right way and just, I guess building the following online and, showing that, you have what it takes to be able to get people through the door. So it's not easy, but it's a lot of work and it's totally worth it when you do it. But yeah.
Let's talk about your gear journey. What you started out with, your first piece of gear, and what you use now.
I actually have it here. This is my first ever piece of gear ever. And it's kind of broken now, so it's a little old, but it's my Machine Micro MK2. And yeah, I bought it years and years ago, and then someone pawned it, and then I had to buy it back. And then once I bought it back, I was like, that's it, I'm making beats now. And yeah, that's what I started on. As you can see, I'm still running a lot of machine and stuff, but yeah, that was my first piece of gear that I started on. I have the Machine MK3, which I just got this year. This is what I use to make most of my beats on, in the DAW machine. So essentially drums, samples, and everything are on there. And then I use Serato sample within Machine as well. Then I have this really cool 8-bit synthesizer, which I got from a guy on Etsy. It's handmade and it's got really, really massive power. But I use this mainly for bass lines. And then I'll use the DO5 synthesizer just to add in little sounds every now and then, just synth sounds. Machine Micro for when I'm on the go. Also this one, which is really cool, this is the PO33, which is like a sequencer and a sampler, so you can sample into it and chop your own beats, which is cool because it's just takes batteries and super small and easy. And then I use my S49. This is mainly, again, for bass lines and for chord progression. So I've been making a lot of house on this lately. And then obviously this beast of a thing, which is the Novation bass station. So I use that for a lot of bass lines and just a lot of kind of weird sounds. If I'm just kind of getting weird in my bedroom, I'll just play that and put a drum beat on and just get lost in that for hours. Yeah.
You're playing Melbourne Synth Fest.
I am.
What can we expect from you?
Oh, I hope just people enjoy it and like really like the energy that I kind of give off while I'm performing. Because I feel like, you know, Sadiva's a little bit of a different person, and when she comes out and performs, you know, I just want people to feel good when they hear the music. So, you know, I hope people enjoy it.
What are you currently working on and into next year?
Whew, a lot of things. I think I'm going to have another release soon. I'm not sure what it is yet. I have a lot of new beats that I haven't used. And I'm also working with some rappers to make, some beautiful music. Hopefully a Soul Diva album will happen this year. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sadiva, thanks for your time.
Thank you.